I guess, our high school student with interest in the culinary arts. And we wanted to create this space so that they could taste all of these dishes, which have these deep histories here, but are also reinventions. So it's very much about the art of the possible. So thank you for being here with us. It's deeply appreciated.
And Bernie, I wanted to introduce Melissa Kazavinsky. She is the culinary arts teacher at Chincoteague and has been there since 2004. So she got a last-minute buy to come in. So I just wanted to make sure.
Well, we're
great
glad
experience.
you're here, and we hope that you find things here of use.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
So the course that will appear is family-style lattice-top oyster pie. Now, everything has a history, and oyster pies have a really deep history. They also have a history. Full disclosure is that they are also a dish which has an erotic history, which I will not go into this evening.
Tell us more.
No, I'm afraid this is a family-rated site. But the oyster pie is very well one of the handful of dishes that has been in continuous circulation in the Eastern United States since, well, actually, they would have known about it at the Roanoke colony. It was in place in the 16th century. It's mentioned in Elizabethan theater. Would certainly have been known to folks who came here. And when you think about what's in an oyster pie, historically, first of all, it's a pie crust, and the earliest oyster pies are a very simple, lean crust. And it is baked, and then it is filled with what is essentially a thickened, oyster-rich oyster stew. But it could be stretched in a variety of ways, although over here is if you really had to stretch something, you just added more oysters. That was the one thing that everybody seemed to have had. But you think about what's in an oyster pie, and you think about this place. So here they are, folks here in the 1630s are very likely making this dish. To make this dish, they needed flour. There was no native flour. So they had to import wheat and grow wheat here early on. And then that requires milling. So you start thinking about infrastructure, just how rapidly food demands infrastructure. Oysters, not a problem. Dairy, no native dairy. No cows, no sheep, nothing. In fact, what the first peoples used as a dairy was mashed hickory nuts, and they would make a hickory nut milk that they used as a kind of thickener. So that you get these two, if it's actually seasoned with pork of some sort, no pigs. Those had to have been brought here. And this dish is served with pan-fried apples, no apples. So you think about what's involved in putting this dish on the table, say in 1640, 1650, is all of this has to be created here. And it is created not just out of European traditions, but it's created out of African practices, which are already in place. It is created through intersections with First Peoples. So all of those groups, the Accomacs, the Kikatanks, the Naswatucks, the Akahanaks. So these are all these people who are involved in this. So the dish that comes on is a very humble dish, oyster pie and fried apples, but it's a dish that really speaks to very, very deep histories, as do all of these. Now, everything evolved, everything evolves. And so those lean crust lattice-top oyster pies are actually mentioned in court cookbooks in the 1600s and early 1700s. But then what you begin to get are oyster pies that are made with enriched crusts, But the big shift is to the introduction of scalloped oysters, which is very similar but involves crumbled crackers of some sort, or the most cracker-like thing that you would have had would have been a dumpling that had been baked as opposed to boiled. But it comes with the mass production of crackers that you get the second phase. And the last phase of oyster pie that is made is one that uses a biscuit top. And this is with the introduction of Bisquick and various leavening devices. The use of fried apples here. The Sunday breakfast on the Eastern Shore was often soaked out and pan-fried saltfish and pancakes with fried apples. And it was, the fried apples are a reference back to that. We're using black twig apples, which are an heirloom from away, but my hope is to, sometime in the next year, and this is your homework, is to find the Accomack apple, which is a documented varietal that was last seen in the Parksley area. And the fact is, it could very well survive. There are a number of strains, for example, of sand pears here, which are really worth taking a look at. So, part of this is you get dinner and your exercise programs to go find that Accomack apple. The pies will be served family style. Each table needs to elect a person who will sort of dip in and spoon it out. So I'll let you all fight over that. It is served with an Albermarle cider, Albermarle Pippin cider. And what's important is that cider time was big news early on. People were making hard ciders here long before they were doing beers or other things. And yet we have no cidering left. This is sort of the next thing that needs to happen, is to reintroduce some of these cider practices, because this is going to be the longest cidering tradition in the eastern United States. Folks, with so many things, we own it. So here are the oyster pies and the black twig sauteed apples. The person who does the dishing here is, you've got awesome responsibility. So,
Make it last.